Well, hey everybody, welcome to the set of West Side Story. At the moment we've moved up into the front of house area where Harry's been working as number one on the show here with our Digico SD9T, working with QLab, etc., all firing into this. Harry, do you want to talk a little bit about how the show's been for you?
It's wicked. We've got 43 people on stage, 33 of them with DPA headset mics, all coming into this lovely machine.
Have you programmed, you've really embraced the theatre software on the console?
We have. We've got our snapshots all in here.
So how many snapshots have we ended up with there? It looks like quite a strong queue list there.
It's about 80, 90 on the channels down here. All 33.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for that. Yeah, we're going to head over to the lighting console now, which is just to our left. So Paul Comerford, our head of lighting, he looks after the ECCI and all the programming for the show. And again, he's been working with the theatre production students on this. At the moment, we're in a sort of pre-show state. Yeah, really, again, fantastic to get students involved. And again, students have been providing lighting designs for this through their assessments. We've been embedding the West Side Story production into the assessment strategy for the modules. So again, it's been quite good fun for the students who are doing live sound and doing lighting design as part of that, to come down and see how the show has been lit by Paul and to discuss their designs against that which has been realised. And I imagine Paul may even have used some ideas in his show, who knows. So we're currently in the mic fitting area. Door's currently doing some mic fitting as we speak. On the table here you've got all of the belt packs, everyone again labelled up, ready to go onto the various actors. And again, we've got 3 casts, so the leads are split 3 different ways. So all the settings for these are preset into the console to give people what they need. And I say Door at the moment is fitting one of the numerous microphones, Sennheiser 300 series belt packs with DPA lavaliers. But we'll wander around backstage and have a look at the mic rack now. As we come down into the DSM area, we've actually got one of the 9 screens, I think, that are dotted around the backstage area for everybody, and including our Clearcom's wireless comms here. Andy's just popped her head around the door there. She's our DSM, one of our theatre production shows. The students done a stunning job of calling the show and getting all this enormous cast in order. We'll carry on down now to the radio mic area. So down here at the moment we've got all of our radio mic receivers. And there's 36 receivers, I think, available to us here. We're using 33 of them on the show. And again, as mentioned, with the DPA and the Sennheiser combined, we find we get a great sound with this. These are all networked, or the ones that can be. We've got a couple of 100 series boxes that we can't network. Most of them have been networked so that the guys up in front of house are still able to monitor. And during the show, number 2 sound is on here, checking the quality of sound for people going out, because again, the number 1 needs to know that the sound quality is there when they lift the fader. So they put in the trust in their number 2 to make sure that sound coming onto stage is of the right quality for them in order to do a great job. I think now we're going to head over to the band room, which is a short walk away, and we'll go and have a look at the main band performance area, and we'll also go and have a look at the control room for the band, where the band is being submixed and then broadcast using our Dante network from our band room back over to the room here. And of course, via the same network, we've got QLab, clicks, etc., all going back to our musical director. We'll have a look at that when we get over there. Where we've come now is actually where the band itself is being mixed from the band room that we'll go to in a moment. So all the signals from the band room are brought in here over Cat5 MADI into our S21, as Russ is ably modelling. And the signals from this are then passed via MADI into this RedNet 6 and then committed to the Dante network to be picked up back at front of house. How's it been mixing the band, Russ?
It's been quite challenging, actually. I thought it would just be moving some faders, but it has been quite challenging, especially on like the kick, where we've had to gate it just to get a nice jazzy sound, really. But yeah, everything else has been really straightforward.
And there's been quite a lot of sort of extra challenges that you don't expect around, for example, scenes where there's movement, where we have radio mics where there may be a hat coming on and off or something like this, and muting specific channels into the headphone mixers so that the musical director is able to hear the cues but doesn't have the problem of the constant clanging of hats against microphones and things like this. And again, working things like the filtering on the upright bass to try and bring clarity to that, and there's all sorts of things that have been a real challenge, which is made all the more difficult by the fact, of course, that these guys are monitoring in here, and what they're working on is something that's being broadcast in a ribbon over the way. So again, using the sound channel on the comms to shape that during those tech rehearsals was so important. And again, at least that you get a nice vision here. One of the biggest challenges actually with the screen that you see here and the screens that we saw downstairs is around latency and running these screens without latency. And again, Zenos, our Lawrence Hall technician, he spent a lot of time working on the best system that we could put together for almost no latency video transmission around the building using SDI to get from place to place. And again, we'll see the cameras in the band room with our musical director. So what we have here is the musical backbone of the show, the band itself. As you can see from the space, we've kind of taken an existing production rehearsal room and turned it into band space, with kind of creating dedicated areas, a bit of shielding to help us with our mic technique for trombone, trumpet. Here we've got a player who's playing saxophone, flute, piccolo, and then we've got clarinet, bass clarinet over in the corner there. Everybody has their own personal monitor mixers. So again, from the band room, we're feeding in 16 channels of information to these guys so they can pick what they need for the show. Everybody tends to need slightly different things, particularly around our musical director, who needs to be able to cue himself from what's happening on stage. This camera here is the signal that's then broadcast out into the hall. So again, cast members are always able to know when they're coming in. We have numerous scenes where there's the echoing Marias that come from backstage. So again, we have to have that image backstage for people to be able to see that. And again, Dean, our musical director, needs to be able to see what's going on from our main screen there with the return back from the hall again. So we've got quite a complex set of audio and data networking going and video networking going on. Over in the corner, we've got our kind of Perspex drum booth, which again is treated on the inside to try and give us a decent quality of sound with some level of isolation. Quite hard, I think, to play in here with everything going, and the level of isolation achieved by these panels is actually really impressive. It's worked really well for us. We've got an enormous percussion section, which we've kind of spot mic'd around the percussion section. You need to be a thinner man than me to get in there, I'm afraid. So we've got the drum section, the percussion section, and the instruments, as I've mentioned, the 2 keyboards, both of which are working with Mainstage and have got multi-part processing per song to give the right voicing for all the right instruments, because again, the instruments that we had available, it made sense to go with the live brass and woodwind, the live percussion, the live drums, and then strings and other synth parts are then put on here. For one track, for the Mambo track, we pre-recorded some percussion as well over in the Vestry Studios. So that's the one track where there's a click involved, which again, that's triggered as a visual cue from front of house, and that audio and that click then comes through to here, and then those who need the click have that click. So it's altogether quite a well integrated and clever system. So I hope this has given you an insight into what's involved in putting on a theatre show here at University of West London. This has been one of our most ambitious so far, and I think we're looking forward to seeing what we can do to increase the challenge on the next one. So yeah, look forward to seeing you then.